My House of Horrors Chapter 781-790. Was it Chen Ge who pushed open the door from under the bed? Why wasn't there any blood on the door? Chen Ge's heart was filled with questions. He had not challenged a 4-star trial mission before, and he had not seen the door of a 4-star scenario before. He had too little information, so all he could do was keep a low profile and try not to attract attention. All the employees are inside the backpack, Shu Yin, Yan Danian, and everything I've prepared. Without a trump card, Chen Ge would be lying if he said he was not panicking. However, he had been through many things, and his heart had become incredibly strong. Things haven't reached the worst yet. At least on the surface, I still have another identity, Lin Cece. Chen Ge went through Lin Cece's experience in his mind, and then he discovered something else that made his hair stand on end. In the diary, Xiao Lin was toyed to death by all his classmates. Because he liked to play pranks, the students who were the victims of his pranks banded together to play a prank on him. Now my deskmate calls me Xiao Lin. Could the name Xiao Lin be a nickname? Could it be that the target of everyone's pranks is also called Xiao Lin? The more he thought about it, the scarier it was, but Chen Ge did not show that. If he did not find out, the other party would not turn on him. The process of slowly falling into the abyss might be the safest for Chen Ge. Humans are trapped in the wild. To avoid being targeted by the predators, the best way is to appear cruel. Even though Chen Ge had no trump card, he had to act like everything was under his control. I need to calm down. The black phone won't give me a mission that will definitely kill me. Even if I'm inside a 4-star scenario, there should be a chance of survival. Chen Ge subconsciously turned back to look at his own shadow. It was hiding his last hope. Under the pale light, Chen Ge's shadow did not change at all. My shadow and physical appearance have not changed, and neither have my clothes, but my deskmate referred to me as Xiao Lin. This is also suspicious. How did he recognize me? Hiding this question in his heart, Chen Ge slowly organized his thoughts. The most important thing now is to determine what this place is, see if there are any dangers around, and find a way to blend in as soon as possible. Chen Ge's idea was crazy and bold. If it was someone else, they would definitely try their best to escape, but he was different. He wanted to blend in and fight for a way out for himself. Asking others will arouse suspicion. Besides, I can't be sure that what they say is true. So, if you want to understand everything, it's better to investigate it yourself. Chen Ge solemnly placed the old flip phone into his pocket. There should be important information hidden inside this phone, but it will be difficult to crack the password. I should go through Lin Cece's daily necessities and books. Perhaps I can find something. To understand this scenario, he had to understand himself first. Rationality and calmness were the only weapons that Chen Ge had. He leaned on the table for a while, and like he was too tired from maintaining the same posture, he straightened his body and stretched lazily. He sat at the last row of the classroom, next to the window. In a way, this was a feng shui throne. Normally, he was at ease during class. Be it the teachers or other students, they rarely came to disturb him. His fingertip touched the curtain, and Chen Ge used his pinky to pull the curtain back. He turned his head slightly to look out the window. His pupils narrowed instantly. Outside the window was an abandoned school shrouded in darkness. The reason it was described as abandoned was because there was no light at the school. It was completely dark. It's so big, it's bigger than Muyang High School, Western Zhujiang Private Academy, and Zhujiang University of Law and Medicine combined. Even with yin-yang vision, Chen Ge could not see the edge of the school. This is probably the school of the afterlife, but why can't I see any blood vessels? Shouldn't the world behind the door be a world of despair shrouded in blood? The incident in Liwan City had left a deep impression on Chen Ge, but even though the door had gone out of control and was about to consume half of the town, the scenario was only a 3.5-star scenario. How could the black phone give the school of the afterlife a 4-star rating? Looking at the school that was shrouded in darkness, Chen Ge's palms broke out in cold sweat. For some reason, he felt like when he was looking at the school that was shrouded in darkness was also looking at him. I need to familiarize myself with this place as soon as possible. Chen Ge took out all the books and notebooks from the drawer, trying to find some clues from them. There was a black backpack inside the drawer, and it was stuffed with many books related to marketing. How to manage a sales team, confidence, the root of your success, innovation and market research. These books were popular a few years ago, but many of the things in them were no longer keeping up with the times. Why would the school teach these things? Chen Ge took out the notebooks and started to understand. The school's full name was Zhejiang University. It was a private university that was split into two campuses, East and West. The Western campus recruited fresh graduates every year, so it was a normal university. The Eastern campus, where Chen Ge was at, was a night school. It was a place for people who wanted to continue their studies. The courses they offered were all popular ones that were easy to find a job, like marketing, logistics, real estate, project management, production management, and so on. The course that Xiao Lin had chosen was marketing. From his notes, it could be seen that he was very serious about his studies. Chen Ge also saw a schedule at the end of the notebook. This schedule gave Chen Ge some information. Wake up at 7 a.m. to wash up, have breakfast, work at the factory from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Use the rest time for revision and preparation. Go to the night school from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Attend club activities from 9:30 p.m. to 10:10 p.m. Deal with chores from 10:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Return to the bedroom at 11 p.m. If the schedule ended there, Chen Ge would not have any reaction, but the key problem was that this was just the beginning of the long schedule. There were still a few more items after that. Prepare the tools from 11 a.m. to 11:20 p.m. Go to the elevator, stairwell, toilet, library, and other places from 11:20 p.m. to 12 a.m. Finish the homework from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. Sleep from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. The first half of the schedule was normal, but the second half was very strange. Why would he go to those places at the school so late at night? Why does he have to wait until after midnight to finish the homework? The time period between midnight and 2 a.m. is also very suspicious. Chen Ge understood that in other people's eyes, he was Xiao Lin. In other words, if he wanted to fit into this class, he had to play the role of Xiao Lin well. This is going to be difficult. This guy doesn't look normal. Other than the book and the schedule, Chen Ge also found a set of keys and a pair of sharpened scissors inside his backpack. The teeth marks on the keys inside Xiao Lin's backpack are all different, so they should be able to open different doors. Chen Ge had no idea why Xiao Lin would have these keys, but he had a feeling that the keys had something to do with Xiao Lin's homework. The schedule mentioned the bedroom, so more clues should be hidden inside the bedroom. I have to go and take a look as soon as possible. I have a feeling that as time goes on, something worse will happen. His employees were not around him, and the black phone was nowhere to be seen. Chen Ge's every nerve was taut, and he had to try his best to survive. Closing the curtain, no matter what was going on in his mind, Chen Ge always looked calm on the surface. After he stretched lazily, he leaned back on the table and studied the students around him out of the corner of his eyes. With his focus heightened, Chen Ge memorized every student's appearance in his mind. This is the first time I've seen everyone here, and they don't give me a familiar feeling. They look like normal people. Those who could appear behind the door could not be normal people. Chen Ge memorized their faces to prevent himself from being tricked by the people around him. The person under the bed came in before me. If he is Chen Ge, why can't I see him here? Could he have gone to another classroom? Or is it not him who pushed open the door? Initially, Chen Ge did believe that the person who pushed open the door in Chang Wenyu's room was Chen Ge because the door could only be seen with the left eye, and the left eye was on Chen Ge. But the problem was, Chen Ge had been taken away by the parents for a while, so there was a chance of an accident. It's better to be more careful. There are no friends behind the door, and there is no trust. Chen Ge considered the next step of his plan. He wanted to make it as safe as possible because there was no chance for him to make a mistake. If one of his choices went wrong, death would become a luxury. Footsteps came from the front door of the classroom. A moment later, the door was pushed open, and a man with a center-parted hairstyle walked up to the podium. He was dressed in black and had a white document under his arm. He looked like he was going to a funeral. The man's face was also abnormally pale. He looked nervous as he placed the folder on the table. Without saying a word, he quietly counted the number of students in the classroom. As he counted to the end, his expression gradually softened. He looked down at the numbers on the folder. Not one more, not one less. His gaze swept across the students once more, and a smile appeared on the man's face. All right, class is over. Don't run around at night. The school has been a little chaotic lately. Teacher Bai, have you caught the peeping Tom yet? Do you need our help? A boy in the first row who looked very strong said. He was wearing a jersey and seemed to be very athletic. It has nothing to do with you. Just don't run around after class. Teacher Bai left in a hurry. He even forgot to take the white folder with him. Shaolin, let's go back to the dormitory. Chen Ge's deskmate put away his textbook and prepared to leave. He looked like he had a good relationship with Shaolin. Wait a minute. Chen Ge slowly arranged his backpack, but his eyes were glued to the white folder on the podium. He used yin-yang vision and saw that the first page of the folder contained the number of students in each class. Each class was led by a teacher, and the corresponding teacher of each class appeared to be included in the total number of students in the class. There are 17 people in Class D. The class number was printed on the front door. Chen Ge was in Class D. He had just checked the number of students in this class, and there were 17 of them. Not one more, not one less, but that is if the teacher is not included. Chen Ge had no idea what was happening at this school, and he had no idea what Teacher Bai and the rest were worried about, but he knew that the class that he was in was very dangerous. I can't stay with them. I need to leave first. After realizing that there was an extra person in his class, Chen Ge did not stay for long. He grabbed his backpack and headed out. The corridor was equipped with voice-activated lights. When someone made a sound, they would light up. This place looks no different from a normal school, but why do I feel so uneasy? Without a map and without Shaolin's memory, Chen Ge had no idea where the bedroom was. He purposely slowed down. When his deskmate came over, he very naturally walked down the stairs with him. Shaolin, I'm a bit hungry. Should we go to the canteen? Shaolin's deskmate scratched his head, and he looked quite cute. Earlier in the classroom, Chen Ge saw the name on his textbook. This young, rather shy boy was called Wang Xiaoming. His family background was similar to Shaolin's. They were not the kind of people who were especially rich. I left something in the bedroom. Let's go back first. Before getting to the bottom of Shaolin's identity, Chen Ge would not go anywhere else. Every minute and second was precious to him. He needed to have some ability to protect himself before this scenario showed its fangs. Sure. Wang Xiaoming and Chen Ge entered the corridor. There were many pictures of doctors on the wall. Theoretically speaking, only those who had made a great contribution or were very famous would have their pictures hung on the wall of the school. But all the pictures that were hung in this school were of doctors who were not that famous. In any case, Chen Ge could not recognize any of them. Why are there so many pictures of doctors hanging in the school? Chen Ge did not ask. He just felt very pressured walking down this kind of corridor, like he was being watched. The two soon exited the education block. The student dormitory was not far away from the education block. Looking around, Chen Ge noticed that there were a few more buildings on the western side of the school. There were shadows moving about there, and it was much livelier than the western campus. Without stopping, Chen Ge and Wang Xiaoming entered the student dormitory. There were several notices with red lines on the dormitory's door. Before Chen Ge could take a closer look, Wang Xiaoming had already run past the door. He did not seem to want to stay at the entrance of the building. The two ran to the fourth floor in one breath. Wang Xiaoming was very fast, and it was only because Chen Ge was following closely behind that he was not left behind. Every time I return to the dormitory, I feel very anxious. Wang Xiaoming only sighed in relief when he reached the door of his own dormitory. He smiled at Chen Ge and took out the key to open the door. Chen Ge was about to follow him in when Wang Xiaoming suddenly blocked the door. What are you doing? I need to go back to the dormitory to grab something. Don't you live across the street? You left something at my place? You've been inside my dormitory? Wang Xiaoming looked at Chen Ge with surprise. His left leg sneakily kicked a black trash bag at the door to the corner. Welcome to Fanfic Audiobook, your go-to place for immersive audiobooks. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. You're overthinking things. Chen Ge's peripheral vision caught sight of the black bag behind the door, but he did not think much of it. Whether it was filled with trash or dead bodies, what did that have to do with him? Chen Ge kept his mind clear. The first thing he needed to do was figure out his own identity and figure out what kind of person Lin Cece was. From his perspective, his body and appearance had not changed at all. He had no idea why Wang Xiaoming and the people around him would call him Lin Cece. Perhaps Lin Cece is not a person's name but a code name, a kind of identity. If you still want to go to the canteen later, you can call me. I'll be going back now. Chen Ge's expression did not change that much, like he did not see the bag. Okay. Wang Xiaoming shrank back into the bedroom. Suddenly, he seemed to remember something, and he turned to yell at Chen Ge. Shaolin, you've been sleeping in class today. I wonder if you've heard the few things that Mr. Bai told you. What is it? For the time being, do not leave the bedroom at night. Stay in your own room. Also, the lights out time has been brought forward from 11 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. After lights out, there will be people patrolling the corridors. I hope everyone will pay attention to that. That's it. Chen Ge thought that Wang Xiaoming was going to say something important. He had been in the door for quite some time already, but everyone and everything that he had encountered appeared normal. To be more precise, everything appeared normal on the surface. This school was no different from a normal night school. There was nothing special about it that caught his attention. Wang Xiaoming bit on his lips like he wanted to say something, but perhaps because he was not sure, he did not say anything. The door closed, and Chen Ge stood alone in the corridor of the dormitory. The surroundings were very quiet, and there was not a single sound. The lights are not out yet, so how can the corridor be so quiet? Could it be that neither of the rooms are occupied? Chen Ge took out the key from his backpack and turned to look at the door opposite Wang Xiaoming. There was a number written on the door, 413. This is Lin Cece's room. Staring at the number, Chen Ge suddenly felt that it looked familiar. 4 represents the 4th floor, so what does 13 represent, the 13th room? Chen Ge had once seen the number 13 in the diary underneath Nightmare Academy. He remembered it very clearly. At the end of the last page of the diary, there was a sentence written, I, die, 1, 3, School of the Afterlife, escape. The number 13 in the diary refers to this dormitory? It shouldn't be that simple. In the silent corridor, there was only the sound of the key being inserted into the keyhole and turned. Chen Ge tried several times before he found the correct key. After opening the door and seeing the interior of the dormitory, Chen Ge frowned. The dormitory was not big. There were a total of 6 beds, all of which were upper bunk beds. Below the beds were a wardrobe, a desk, and various miscellaneous items. It wouldn't be a problem just by looking at it. What caught Chen Ge's attention were the walls of the dormitory. There were many human silhouettes on the walls and ceiling of the dormitory. They were of the same height and build as a normal person. It was hard to tell if they were pasted there or painted there. 1, 2, Chen Ge did a rough count. There were 5 human-shaped shadows in the room. They were very eye-catching, and it was hard not to notice them. For his own safety, Chen Ge climbed up the bed ladder and observed the shadows up close. His finger touched the shadow closest to him, and Chen Ge used his fingernails to lightly scratch at the wall. They were painted with paint. Who would draw these things in the bedroom? These human-sized shadows looked scary even when the lights were on, but after the lights were off, wouldn't it be scarier to see shadows everywhere in the room? His eyes scanned all the shadows, and Chen Ge jumped down from the bed. After losing the help of his employees, he became more careful than he had ever been. There are 6 beds in total, but there is only 1 thermos in the bedroom, and there is only 1 pair of slippers on the ground. The only real occupant of this bedroom should be Shaolin. Chen Ge looked through the wardrobe and study table that corresponded to the other beds. Even though they were filled with miscellaneous items, they were not daily necessities. They were all strange things. Like drawing boards, paint buckets, broken hands, broken wires, and so on. This bedroom appeared to be a storage room. Shaolin was the only occupant, and the other beds were unoccupied. Students at night school rarely live on campus. Shaolin's financial situation is not that good, so he wouldn't fork out extra money to live on campus. The only possibility is that staying here is cheaper than renting a place outside. Normally, the price of a school apartment was much more expensive than a motel near the school. The price of this place was abnormally low, so it could only mean that there was something wrong with this room. Chen Ge had no idea what had happened inside Shaolin's bedroom, but there was a strange sense of urgency in his heart. He climbed up the fourth bed that was furthest away from the door. This bed was covered with a brand new bedsheet and quilt. Even though the other beds were also covered with quilts, most of them were covered in dust and could not be used. If there is no one living here, why would there be a special quilt? Who would be willing to use such a dirty quilt? Chen Ge sat on the fourth bed. He looked at the bedroom from a different angle, and it felt different. It was not as cramped. That's right, this is Shaolin's bed. Next to the pillow were words of encouragement and a schedule. If not for this strange school, Chen Ge would have thought that Shaolin was a good student who worked hard. The bedsheet has been washed, and it gives off the scent of laundry detergent. The quilt is also neatly folded. When I was at school, I rarely saw anyone who could fold the quilt so neatly. Shaolin should be a very clean and self-disciplined person. Chen Ge speculated about Shaolin's personality in his mind. Other than the quilt and pillow, there were only books and pens left on the fourth bed. At first glance, Chen Ge thought that Shaolin was a student, but after flipping through a few pages, he noticed the problem. Most of the books related to the course were clean and tidy. There were no labels on them, like they were brand new. In contrast, Shaolin's own notebooks were heavily worn, and it was clear that he had been reading them often. Chen Ge took out the 3 notebooks that were hidden in the middle of the textbook. They were stuffed with different kinds of stickers. Some were clippings from newspapers, some were notices posted outside the dormitory, and some were small notes with different handwriting. With just a glance, Chen Ge's attention was immediately drawn to it. The man entered the dormitory during the school break, but someone had not left the school yet. He hid inside the closet and was discovered when he left the closet late at night. The body was discovered inside the closet at dawn the next day. The killer has not been caught. Teachers and students, please be on guard. What was cut out of the newspaper were pieces of news. There were no detailed addresses or names, just reports of murder cases that people should have heard of. The names appear to have been purposely removed. Where did Shaolin find these newspapers? The papers are yellowed, and they look old. There was more than one case recorded in the notebook. The locations included the dormitory, the library, the lab building, the elevator, and so on. Have these cases really happened in real life? Chen Ge flipped through the notebook, and the more he read, the more shocked he became. This notebook is very important. As he flipped through the notebook, Chen Ge became more curious about Shaolin. Just who was he? Why would he collect all these strange murder cases? Chen Ge placed all of Shaolin's notebooks on the bed. He always carried one in his backpack, and there were 3 more on the bed. So far, Chen Ge had obtained 4 notebooks in total. The notebook inside the backpack should be a disguise. It doesn't contain too much important information. The 3 notebooks found next to the bed are probably Shaolin's biggest secret. Chen Ge read carefully and memorized everything that he saw. Chen Ge was so focused that he did not get distracted, but at that moment, someone knocked on the door. The silence was broken, and Chen Ge held his breath out of habit. After knocking on the door a few times, the knocking stopped. Is it Wang Xiaoming outside? He asked me to go to the cafeteria for lunch? Regarding Wang Xiaoming? Chen Ge did not want to comment too much on him, and he did not want to have any relationship with the man. After about a minute, the annoying knock on the door suddenly came again. However, this time, the knocking sounded more forceful. Chen Ge did not say anything, and he did not go to open the door. The knocking continued for several seconds, and then the sound of a key being inserted into the keyhole came from the door. Creak, the door was pushed open, and a pale-faced Mr. Bai appeared at the door, holding the key and the flashlight. Why didn't you open the door? Mr. Bai glared at Chen Ge. His forehead was covered in sweat, and his Adam's apple was trembling like he was afraid. I just fell asleep. Chen Ge very naturally grabbed the cover from the bed and pulled it over himself, covering up the 3 notebooks. Mr. Bai did not enter the room. He merely stood at the door and looked around. Do not wander around at night. Stay in the dormitory, do you understand? Okay. Chen Ge nodded. Mr. Bai closed the door and left. What a strange man. When he opened the door in such a hurry, it felt like he was trying to see whether I was still alive or not. Chen Ge pulled the cover over himself and was about to flip through the notebook when the light in the bedroom suddenly went off. The light went off? It's already 10:30 p.m.? Lying in the darkness, Chen Ge suddenly realized a problem. Ever since I entered the world behind the door, I haven't seen anything that can tell the time. There is no clock, and there is no time on the phone. Time should be a hidden clue. Perhaps it can provide me with some special help. From the moment the light went off, Chen Ge started to multitask. He counted his heartbeat while he used his yin-yang vision to continue reading the notebook. He did not need to know the exact time, he just wanted to have a general idea of the time so that it would be easier for him to make his next move. I'll go through the contents of the notebook briefly and then look for other clues. If I can't find anything, I'll move to the next place. Mr. Bai had the key to the bedroom, so he could enter and exit the bedroom freely. This made Chen Ge feel very unsafe. The curtains in the bedroom were thick, and only a sliver of light filtered into the room through the gap. There were 5 human shadows on the wall, and the atmosphere became more and more oppressive. Bang, 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 in the darkness. Chen Ge suddenly heard someone knocking on the bedroom door, and the person's movement was very light. Why is someone else here? The new knocking sound was different from the one that Mr. Bai had used earlier. It should be someone else knocking on the door. Could it be Wang Xiaoming? No, he looks very cowardly, and he is very afraid to stay in the corridor of the bedroom. It shouldn't be him. Chen Ge pulled the covers over him and lay in bed. He was reminded of what Mr. Bai and Wang Xiaoming had told him, to not leave the bedroom at night. Just as Chen Ge was hesitating whether he should go over to take a look or not, the knocking stopped. The person had only knocked 3 or 4 times. There's only knocking but no footsteps. The person outside the door probably hasn't left yet. Chen Ge was quite experienced in anti-surveillance and investigation. He did not make a sound, and his body did not even move. He wanted to create the illusion that there was no one inside the bedroom. 10 minutes later, the room and the corridor were still as silent as death. The person has already left. Chen Ge sighed in relief. He reached his hand into Shaolin's backpack and felt for the pair of scissors that had been polished. Regardless of whether it's useful or not, at least I can feel safer with this. Chen Ge was not the kind of person who would sit and wait for death. No matter how desperate he would not give up so easily. He grabbed the scissors, but before he could take them out from his bag, the knocking came again. It was not very forceful, but it sounded like it was repeating itself mechanically. Is the monster outside the door targeting me? Chen Ge gripped the scissors tightly, and his eyes stared closely at the door. This time, the knocking did not stop. In fact, it became more urgent. The person outside appears to be being chased by something. Does he want to come in to seek refuge? Chen Ge could not even protect himself, so he did not have the courage to run over to open the door for him. The knocking frequency increased, but it was getting weaker. It gave the feeling that life was slipping away, and the person was dying. A prank? Or is he purposely trying to lure me out? Chen Ge listened to the knocking that became more urgent but got softer. He slowly narrowed his eyes. The knocking came out of nowhere, and there is no sound coming from the corridor. This is not right. I seem to have overlooked a possibility. Chen Ge reached out to flip through the notebook next to him. It recorded a murder case where the killer hid inside the bedroom closet. When he left in the middle of the night, he was spotted by a student, and in the end, the student's body was found inside the closet. Be it the killer or the student, they were both inside the bedroom that night. If this story happened inside this room, then what I'm hearing now is not the knocking coming from outside but a cry for help coming from inside the room. The ghost might be inside the room. A chill crawled up his spine into his brain. The position of the shadow on the wall appeared to have changed slightly. To make matters worse, Chen Ge suddenly felt something moving under the cover. The dim light from outside the window filtered through the gap between the curtains. The black shadows appeared to come alive. If Chen Ge did not keep a close eye on them, they would disappear from the wall the next moment and run somewhere else. Chen Ge maintained his posture and did not move. He gripped the scissors tightly, and the muscles all over his body tensed. Just now, something moved under the blanket. This bedroom was definitely not as safe as it appeared on the surface. Chen Ge's heart skipped a beat. He did not pull the blanket back to take a look. If there was a ghost crawling under the blanket, the ghost would be there regardless of whether he lifted the blanket or not. The other party would not leave just because he was seen. If anything, it would force him to face the danger too early. The knocking slowly weakened. There seemed to be insects crawling around his feet, and the ominous feeling intensified. Goosebumps rose all over Chen Ge's body. He could clearly feel something crawling up his legs. Cold sweat broke out on his face, and the atmosphere in the bedroom became more and more strange. About 10 seconds later, the knocking suddenly disappeared. Chen Ge turned back to look. The door was still closed, but the 5 shadows on the bedroom wall had all disappeared. His eyes moved to the other direction, and Chen Ge noticed that on the other 5 beds, the old blankets were all protruding like there was someone lying on each bed. They've returned? The strange feeling from his feet had already spread to his calves. Chen Ge could confirm that something had crawled under his blanket. However, even though the image of a human head appearing under the blanket appeared in his mind, Chen Ge still maintained his shocking calmness. Fear would not solve any problem. If the knocking really came from inside the room, then the other party only wanted to leave this room. His legs were numb. Chen Ge felt like if he delayed any longer, he would slowly lose control of his body, and then he would not even have the chance to resist. He stopped hesitating and made a very crazy move. Bending his body slightly, Chen Ge's legs kicked upward. He did a carp flip and stood up. He did not even bother to look at what was under the blanket. He grabbed his backpack and scissors, jumped down from the upper bunk, rushed to the bedroom door, and pulled it open. The entire set of movements was as smooth as flowing water, as if he had practiced it many times in his mind. After opening the bedroom door, Chen Ge did not stay in the room and ran to the corridor. Kicking the bed, slamming the door, and running wildly, Chen Ge made quite a ruckus and his voice traveled far. "I've already opened the door. Is this guy going to continue chasing me?" Chen Ge did not want to provoke those things. He just wanted to figure out Lin Cici's identity and where he was. Holding the scissors in his left hand and the backpack in his right, Chen Ge stood at the entrance of the stairwell and waited for a few minutes. The surroundings were quiet, and there was nothing out of the ordinary in the stairwell. "It didn't chase after us?" Chen Ge sighed in relief and rubbed his hands together. Assuming the news on the notebook happened inside room 413 and the person who knocked on the door was the student who died a horrible death inside the room. It wanted to get out, so I opened the door to help it. It didn't chase after me to kill me, which meant it was reasonable. I'm indebted to it, so it has retained its basic rationality. This is the basis for communication, and we can have a deeper understanding of each other. Chen Ge's mind was very clear. He nudged his feet and slowly approached room 413, which he had just escaped from. "That's right, my idea is feasible. I've just arrived at a new place, and I'm not familiar with it, so I have to establish a good relationship with it. There were good and evil people, and so were ghosts." Chen Ge was taking a gamble. Chen Ge walked the short corridor for more than a minute. To show his sincerity, he even put away the scissors. No matter how sharp this thing is, it's useless against ghosts and spirits. I might as well put it away to show my sincerity. 3 meters, 2 meters, Chen Ge leaned against the wall opposite from room 413. He was in a highly nervous state. He was afraid that once he walked over, a head would pop out from inside the bedroom or several shadows would rush out to forcefully drag him back into the room. Taking a deep breath, Chen Ge finally returned to the door of room 413. He was about to look into the room when the door behind him suddenly opened. The door opened, and Chen Ge almost threw his backpack at it. "Shaolin, Why do you still dare to go out after lights out? If Mr. Bai sees you, he will definitely punish you. Wang Xiaoming lowered his voice. He looked very worried about Chen Ge. I don't want to run around like this. Chen Ge looked at room 413. The room had returned to normal. There was a pile of trash on the ground, and the quilt on the bed was no longer bulging. However, one of the shadows on the wall seemed to have disappeared. With his eyes widened, Chen Ge counted carefully and realized that the shadow closest to the door had disappeared. Only 4 left? Has it escaped from the bedroom? The corridor was dark, and the lights were off. Even with yin-yang vision, Chen Ge would not be able to find it in this situation. It looks like it wants to leave, and so do I. This brother has the same goal as me. We can work together, one in the light, and one in the dark. We can cooperate and escape together. Chen Ge had a plan in his mind, but it was too difficult to execute. He needed to be very careful, or else he would be kicked out of the game. If only this is a nightmare with endless reincarnations. I can keep reviving and choose different methods to conquer this place. I'm afraid I only have one chance. If I die here, everything will be over. What are you mumbling about? Wang Xiaoming felt that the Shaolin before him was very unfamiliar. How should he put it? It was quite scary, like he was not his usual self. It was you who was running in the corridor earlier, right? Everyone is preparing to go to sleep. If you wake them up, they might come after you. Are there people staying in the other rooms? Of course. Chen Ge nodded and did not dwell on that question. He held the backpack with one hand and used the other to hook around Wang Xiaoming's shoulder. Brother, my room has been acting weird lately. Every time I fall asleep, it feels like something is moving. I'm not sure if it's a mouse or something. Let's go look for it together. Inviting Wang Xiaoming into room 413 was a last-minute decision by Chen Ge. He wanted to see if Wang Xiaoming knew anything about the past of room 413. Of course, that was only part of the reason. If he was really trapped inside the room by a ghost, having Wang Xiaoming with him would be good company. The school doesn't allow students to share rooms, and everyone has their own bed. Wang Xiaoming did not show any fear. He was just a little unwilling. What are you afraid of? Do you think the school will expel you just because you share a room? Chen Ge did not give him any chance to explain and dragged Wang Xiaoming back to room 413. This was the second time he entered room 413. This time, with Wang Xiaoming's company, Chen Ge did not panic that much. Shaolin, don't you usually clean your room? You're supposed to be the only one staying here. But it feels like there are several people living here. This appeared to be the first time Wang Xiaoming had entered room 413, and this confused Chen Ge even more. The 2 rooms were so close to each other. Even if they did not visit each other, when they opened and closed the door, they should have seen what was going on inside the door before, unless Shaolin had been purposely hiding it. My eyesight is not that good. Can you help me see what's on the wall? Chen Ge did not fully trust Wang Xiaoming. He did not dare leave the man alone at the door. What if the man suddenly went crazy and locked him inside the room again? That would be bad. Okay. Wang Xiaoming did not seem to know how scary room 413 was. In his eyes, this was just a normal bedroom. Grabbing the handrail, Wang Xiaoming climbed directly onto bed number 1. He reached out to touch the wall. There are no posters on this wall, so why are there so many nails? Nails. When Wang Xiaoming climbed onto bed no. 1, Chen Ge quickly ran over to bed no. 4. He planned to take all the notes and information with him and never return to this bedroom again. Yes, and what's with the shadow on the wall? It looks like a living person is crawling on the wall. Aren't you afraid to sleep at night? Just looking at it made Wang Xiaoming feel uncomfortable. Chen Ge did not answer. He was still thinking about what Wang Xiaoming had said earlier. There was originally a shadow at the spot where Wang Xiaoming was touching, but it had run out from the room earlier and disappeared. Let me take a look. Chen Ge picked up his backpack and climbed onto bed number 1. He reached out to touch the wall. The white paint was filled with nails. All the nails were at the spot where the shadow had appeared. Did that mean that it was these nails that pinned the shadow to the wall? Chen Ge was thinking when he felt a pain in his stomach. Bugs? Chen Ge pulled up his shirt and saw a small wound on his stomach. Because the wound was so small, there was no blood. Insects crawled into my clothes. He took off his coat and checked it. He didn't find any insects in it. Instead, he found a sharp nail in his coat pocket. Shaolin, why do you still carry nails with you? Aren't you afraid of pricking yourself? Wang Xiaoming only thought it was strange. But he did not seem surprised. From his reaction, Chen Ge speculated that Shaolin was an anomaly in the class. No matter what he did, everyone thought it was normal. I'm fine. Although he said he was fine, Chen Ge's heart couldn't calm down. The nail that was originally used to nail Phantom to the wall suddenly appeared in his pocket and stabbed him. This was definitely not a coincidence. Is that guy looking for a scapegoat? Chen Ge sighed inwardly. If he had not returned to the dormitory, he would not have realized what the problem was until he was nailed to the wall. I was kind enough to open the door for him, but he actually bit the hand that fed him and used me as a scapegoat. Chen Ge compared the nail in his pocket to the one hidden under the wall, and he confirmed that they were the same type. It's understandable that he's looking for a scapegoat, but at least he should have told me first. It's so rude to not tell me. Chen Ge slowly calmed down. He took out a pair of scissors to remove the nail from the wall, but the nail was very deep. With just a pair of scissors, the efficiency was too low. This place sure is full of danger. If I'm not careful, I probably won't even know how I died. In just a few minutes, Chen Ge felt like he was pricked again, and this time, it came from his calf. He shook his pants, and a short nail fell out. Now it appears very slowly, and it doesn't hurt. But as time goes on, will these nails appear faster and faster? Will they go deeper and deeper each time? Chen Ge did not mind being pricked once, but he was worried that the nail might appear at any time, and the location of its appearance was not fixed. If he was running and the nail suddenly appeared in his shoes, then it would be over. Other than that, Chen Ge considered another possibility. If he ignored it, the nail might appear inside his body, and then it would not be as simple as being pricked. No wonder I've been feeling this sense of urgency. This place is too dangerous. Without figuring out his identity and the scenario, Chen Ge had already entered the rhythm of a slow death. Even so, he managed to maintain his calm. When I woke up, I was in class. After Mr. Bai appeared, he repeatedly emphasized that I was not allowed to leave the room and asked me to stay in the bedroom. Is that some kind of psychological hint that he has placed on me? The discovery and the contents of the notes all pointed to the bedroom. To find out my identity, the best choice is the bedroom. This is a place that I have to go to. Chen Ge had no choice, but now that he thought about it, he noticed two details. First, when Chen Ge requested to return to the bedroom, Wang Xiaoming had said that he wanted to go to the cafeteria. Whether it was intentional or not, if Chen Ge had followed him to the cafeteria, it would have temporarily prevented this from happening. This meant that Wang Xiaoming had no intention of harming him in this matter. Of course, this did not prove that Wang Xiaoming was a good person. Perhaps there was something scarier waiting for Chen Ge at the cafeteria, and he merely wanted to lure Chen Ge there to kill him. Secondly, before lights out, Mr. Bai purposely came to check whether Chen Ge was in the bedroom or not. At the time, Mr. Bai's expression was filled with fear. He did not step into room 413, which meant that he knew how dangerous room 413 was. Knowing that there was something wrong with room 413, he allowed Chen Ge to sleep there. There had to be something wrong with this person. In conclusion, Chen Ge came to a conclusion in his heart. Wang Xiaoming might not be a good person, but Mr. Bai definitely had an ulterior motive. Chen Ge memorized all the people that he had met, the words that they had said, and the expressions that they had made. This was not because he had a good memory but because he had a strong will to live. Room 413 is very dangerous, but after I entered it, I was not killed immediately. I was merely used as a substitute by the scapegoat. Furthermore, the scapegoat used such a slow method to take my place. Looks like this mission is not completely hopeless after all. Chen Ge looked at the other human-shaped shadows in the bedroom. There should be a large patch of nails under each of the human-shaped shadows. The scapegoat has found me, and I have been poked by the nails. If I remove all the nails from this bedroom and use them to poke other people, what will happen? Chen Ge had already been poked twice by the nails that had appeared out of nowhere, If this was someone else, they would have tossed those scary nails away or buried them. However, Chen Ge did not do that. If anything, he put the nails away and planned to go out to find someone that he did not like to poke them a few times. These nails can pin down ghosts, so they should be able to deal some damage to lingering spirits and baleful specters. This is a good thing. But will it cause panic if I use these nails to poke people in the middle of the night? Chen Ge thought this method was doable. I can keep some of the nails for now. Next, my main focus is to find the scapegoat and try to convince him to cooperate with me to nail other people. If that doesn't work, I'll have to try to nail him back to the wall. Looking at the nails on the wall, Chen Ge used the scissors to try again, but he still could not remove them. I'll need a hammer to pull out the nails. There should be a maintenance room at the school. If only I can get my hands on some tools. Chen Ge's mind was very flexible. He would never stick to a single point. I should bring some practical tools with me to deal with more complicated situations. Shaolin, Shaolin. Wang Xiaoming waved his hand on Chen Ge's face. What are you thinking about? Why are you smiling? Xiaoming, do you know where our school's maintenance room is? Chen Ge asked casually. Why are you asking that? Wang Xiaoming did not understand what was going on in Chen Ge's mind. The two were not on the same wavelength. The door of my bedroom keeps having problems. It will make noise at night, so I'm looking for some tools to fix it. Chen Ge jumped down from bed number 1 and stood at the door. If I'm not mistaken, it's near the staff dormitory. Students rarely go there. I think you should wait until tomorrow to contact the dormitory manager. Even though the manager of our building, Wang Xiaoming shivered and did not continue. There's no need to trouble the manager. This is just a small problem. I can handle it myself. Chen Ge knew the approximate location of the maintenance room. It was near the staff dormitory, but the problem was, Chen Ge had no idea where the staff dormitory was. Running around after lights out, if the teachers catch you, they'll punish you severely. Shaolin, you have to think this through. It's fine if you want to go somewhere else, but the maintenance room is right next to the staff dormitory. It is indeed a bit dangerous, but I really can't stay in this bedroom. The door creaks at night, and I can't sleep at all. Chen Ge looked at Wang Xiaoming with sincerity. Brother, how about I sleep at your bedroom tonight? I see that you're the only person in your bedroom. The other beds are all empty. You want to sleep at my bedroom? Wang Xiaoming's face twitched. After giving it some thought, he said, I think it's better for me to go to the maintenance room. Even if I run into the teachers, as long as I communicate with them and explain the reason, they should understand. Okay, then how about you drop me off somewhere near the staff dormitory? Chen Ge grabbed Wang Xiaoming's arm, and he showed no intention of letting go. After a short stalemate in the bedroom, Wang Xiaoming finally agreed. Okay, but I'll leave when I get there. I will definitely not enter the staff dormitory. Thank you. You're welcome. You're my only friend, after all. Wang Xiaoming returned to his bedroom to change his shoes. Chen Ge closed the door to room 413. While waiting for Wang Xiaoming, he took out his notebook to look through the information about the student who had been murdered at the dormitory. An oil painting major? He's usually a coward and doesn't like to talk, but he's a very kind person. He likes to stay in the oil painting room alone to paint strange paintings. There were some scattered pieces of information in Shaolin's notebook, and Chen Ge pieced them together. I need to find the tools first. If there's not enough time, I'll try to prick Mr. Bai with nails. If there's enough time, I'll go take a look around the oil painting room. After Wang Xiaoming changed his shoes, the two entered the stairwell together. Shaolin, don't make too much noise. If the dormitory manager comes, it'll be over for both of us. Wang Xiaoming was very afraid of the dormitory manager, and Chen Ge also started to wonder what kind of person a dormitory manager was. Could a normal person scare Wang Xiaoming to this extent? If not for the emergency, Chen Ge really would have gone to see what the dormitory manager looked like. The two came to the first floor. The door to the dormitory was not locked. Quick! Wang Xiaoming waved at Chen Ge, and the two of them ran toward the door. However, just as they were about to reach the door, the curtain of the dormitory manager's room was pulled back, and a white face was stuck to the window. Next to this face was the notice that forbade students from leaving after lights out. The window was slowly pushed open, and a wave of cold air drifted out from inside the room. "Run! The dormitory manager is here." Chen Ge had no idea whether the dormitory manager had seen them or not, but he grabbed Wang Xiaoming and ran out of the dormitory. The two ran for a long time in the dark campus. It was not until the surroundings returned to normal that they dared to stop and find a corner to catch their breath. "It's over, Xiao Lin. I'm going to die because of you. We've been discovered by the dormitory manager." "Why are you panicking?" He didn't see the face. Chen Ge thought back to the dormitory manager's white face, and he also felt quite creeped out. That face did not belong to a living person. Be it Wang Xiaoming, Mr. Bai, or the other students in the class, they looked like normal people on the surface. In fact, they even had body temperature. But the dormitory manager was completely different from these people. The face inside the window was devoid of life and expression. The dormitory manager is different from other people. This can be considered an important find. If there's a chance, I should try to poke him with the nails or use him as my scapegoat. Chen Ge kept adjusting his plan based on the clues that he had found, but the general direction did not change. The campus at night was very scary. Chen Ge had no idea why, but it appeared like the buildings that were especially busy in the day and almost empty at night all had this characteristic. After walking in the dark for a few minutes, Wang Xiaoming, who had been silent, suddenly stopped. "We're here? This is the staff dormitory?" Chen Ge saw the outline of a low building in the dark. "We're not there yet. I just feel like since we've been discovered, there's no point in worrying about those things." Wang Xiaoming seemed to have come around. "Why? Do you plan to follow me to the maintenance room?" Chen Ge felt like something was wrong with Wang Xiaoming. Shaking his head, Wang Xiaoming turned to look at Chen Ge. The man's breathing was heavy, and his lips were red like he was chewing on something hard. After a long time, he squeezed out the words from between his teeth. "This is the canteen." The canteen? They had agreed to go to the maintenance room, but Wang Xiaoming changed his mind midway and silently led Chen Ge to the entrance of the canteen. Wang Xiaoming was not acting normally. His eyes were bloodshot like a desperate gambler. This was completely different from when he was in the male dormitory. "Let's go to the maintenance room first. After we get the stuff, I'll accompany you to the canteen to get some food." Chen Ge knew that Wang Xiaoming's change had started after he was seen by the dormitory manager. It felt like his plan had been seen through, and he had given up. Carrying the backpack, Chen Ge held the nail in one hand and patted Wang Xiaoming's shoulder with the other. "You're my only friend. Trust me." Wang Xiaoming's warmth came from his palm. Chen Ge's deskmate looked weird, but he was no different from a normal person. Compared to a ghost, he was more like a troubled child with a mental illness. Facing a child like this, one could not reject their request. One had to give them more love and help. "But I'm really hungry." Wang Xiaoming's lips were making crunching noises. His lips were dyed red from the blood that leaked out from his mouth. He's chewing on his own teeth. Chen Ge had seen someone similar in Liwan City, the boss at the hotel's fridge. The woman suffered from bulimia, and when she was hungry, she would consume everything in her mouth, including her teeth and tongue. Only by constantly chewing and swallowing could the hunger that came from the spirit be alleviated. "Brother, if you really can't take it anymore, we should split up. You go to the canteen, and I'll go to the maintenance room." After the few minutes of experience inside the bedroom, Chen Ge understood how dangerous this scenario was. It was filled with danger, and he would fall into their trap if he was not careful. Under such circumstances, he would not follow Wang Xiaoming to a place that was completely foreign to him. Chen Ge had made his stance clear. They would part ways on good terms. "Don't do anything to me, and I won't harm you." Based on Chen Ge's prediction, Wang Xiaoming would either choose to leave on his own, or he would turn on him immediately. The two stood in the dark. A cold breeze that came from who knew where crawled into his collar. Wang Xiaoming, who had a strange expression on his face, lowered his head to think for a while before slowly coming to his senses. He made a decision that confused Chen Ge. "Never mind, I'll follow you. We'll go to the cafeteria after we find what we need." Wang Xiaoming massaged the muscles on his face, acting as if nothing had happened. "You're a great friend." Chen Ge put his arm around Wang Xiaoming's shoulders. One of them silently raised his hand to wipe away the blood on his lips, and the other silently put away the nails in his palm. "Let's go this way." The two of them had a tacit understanding, but they each had their own ulterior motives. Wang Xiaoming led the way, and Chen Ge followed behind him. His brain did not stop working. Everyone in the school was very strange. It seemed that they didn't simply want to kill Chen Ge, but had their own motives. What do they want? Chen Ge felt like there was an invisible net being spread out around him, and every knot in the net was a person in the school. After leaving the cluster of low buildings, Wang Xiaoming led Chen Ge in the opposite direction. The staff dormitory is close to the field behind the school. It's very secluded, and normally, not many people go there. Wang Xiaoming had returned to normal. He seemed to have gotten rid of the fear brought by the dormitory manager. Speaking of which, our school is really too much. The new students have a specialized sports hall, and all the good resources for the field have been given to the new students. Those of us in the night school are like a stepmother. It's good that we can learn the knowledge. The rest is just the process. Only Chen Ge, who had been through so many trials by the black phone, would have such mental fortitude. Even when he was walking on the edge of life and death, he could still calmly give others chicken soup. Walking through a forest, there was a row of old fences before them, and they were still entangled with steel wire. Through the gaps in the fence, they could see a small field not far away. It was about 1/4 the size of a normal field. There was no goal, no sports equipment, and the field was bare. If not for the few running tracks that were randomly drawn on the ground, Chen Ge would not have been able to connect this empty field to a field. Do you see the small building next to it? That is the staff dormitory, but strangely enough, even though this place is called the staff dormitory, I rarely see any teachers staying here. Wang Xiaoming pointed at one of the buildings on the other side of the field. The main entrance will be too easily discovered by the teachers. We'll take a detour through the forest. Wang Xiaoming was very familiar with the surroundings, and that made Chen Ge feel like something was wrong. Would a normal student know so much about the staff dormitory? Thinking about this, he became even more curious about his deskmate. With my power alone, the chance of me escaping is almost zero. I need someone who has the same interest as me to help me. Everyone at this school seemed to have their own story. Actually, even Chen Ge was curious about how they ended up there. Normally speaking, the door was a world of despair that was weaved from the door pusher's memory. Everything revolved around the door pusher, and all the clues revolved around the door pusher. But this door seemed to be different. Everyone had their own past, and everyone was fighting for something. School of the Afterlife, students, graduation, several pieces of information appeared in Chen Ge's mind. He tried to connect them together. Oh well, the clues that I have are still too few. This place is split into 2 campuses. After I find the scapegoat, I'll go to the other campus to take a look. Perhaps I'll find something there. When he woke up, he found himself behind the door. Without even knowing who he was, Chen Ge had managed to find his way out. Bending his back to walk through the forest, there was a thick layer of fallen leaves beneath his feet. Stepping on them felt like stepping on human flesh. It was a very strange feeling, but he could not tell where the problem was. This is the place. The two took a big detour to enter the staff dormitory. This place was completely different from the student dormitory. When Chen Ge got closer, he realized that the building was split into 2 rows. The front row had lights on like there were people living there, and the back row was dark like it had been abandoned for a long time. The front is the staff dormitory, and the back is the dormitory for international students. The school has a good idea, but based on what I know, our school hasn't accepted international students before. Wang Xiaoming and Chen Ge sneaked into the row of buildings. The corridor was paved with tiles, and the walls on the sides were covered with wallpaper. The style of decoration was much more luxurious than the dormitory. The maintenance room seems to be at the end of the corridor. Be careful when you go there. Don't let the teachers see you. Wang Xiaoming stopped at the bottom of the corridor. I'll help you keep watch. I think we should go in together. Since they had already come this far, there was no reason to turn back. Chen Ge dragged Wang Xiaoming down the corridor. Wait a minute. Wang Xiaoming wanted to resist, but he did not dare use too much force. He was afraid that he might alert the teachers inside the room. In the end, he was dragged down the corridor by Chen Ge. Shaolin. After entering the corridor, Wang Xiaoming's face blanched. He looked around him like he still could not believe that he had already arrived at the staff dormitory. It's too dangerous for you to guard the door alone. I'm here to look for the key, and it has nothing to do with you. How can I let you face the danger alone? Chen Ge acted like he was doing this for his own good. He gripped Wang Xiaoming's arm tightly, and no matter how hard the man tried to shake him, he would not let go. Shush, the door in front doesn't seem to be closed properly. Chen Ge leaned against the wall. When he reached the middle of the corridor, he noticed that the door to one of the rooms was ajar. The lights in the room were still on, and a faint white light could be seen. Wang Xiaoming was afraid that he would attract the attention of the people inside the room, so he stopped resisting and allowed Chen Ge to pull him to the side of the door. What are you doing? Wang Xiaoming saw Chen Ge leaning against the door to look at them, and he felt like his scalp was going to explode. The man before him did not seem to know the meaning of fear, and he kept leading him on the edge of danger. Shush, the lights in the room are on. I think I can see a shadow on the wall. There's someone in the room. Chen Ge waved at Wang Xiaoming, and the two of them tiptoed past the door. Being pulled by Chen Ge, Wang Xiaoming stopped resisting like he had accepted his fate. The maintenance room was at the end of the corridor, and the two of them searched for a long time before they found it. The door is locked. Chen Ge tried to move the doorknob, but the door refused to budge. Be gentler. Don't use so much force. Wang Xiaoming shrunk his neck, and his expression was nervous. The door is locked. Do you know who has the key? The bad news came one after another, and Chen Ge was trying to come up with a solution. It should be with the repairman, but the repairman has already left work. Wang Xiaoming pulled on Chen Ge's sleeve lightly. How about we leave this place first? Come, let's go to the cafeteria. I'll treat you to something good. I guarantee you'll want to eat more in the future. Don't talk. Let me be quiet for a while. Chen Ge's eyes scanned the corridors and the rooms. When a person hears a strange noise, their brain needs to think for 1 to 2 seconds before they can react, and it will take several seconds for them to reach the corridor from their respective positions. In other words, if I break down the door, I will need to break down the door, collect the tools, and escape the scene within half a minute. Time is too tight. Shaolin, what did you just say? Smash the door? This building only has one entrance and one staircase, and the location of the staircase is coincidentally at the exit. Even if I manage to find the tools, there is no place for me to hide. Chen Ge very rationally gave up on the idea of breaking down the door. The maintenance room is on the first floor. I already know the location of this room. Compared to breaking down the door, it's safer to enter through the window. Without anything to defend himself with, Chen Ge felt uneasy. In fact, he had another idea. The nails in room 413 had pinned the shadow to the wall. Chen Ge planned to make a deal with the shadow. He would pull out all the nails from the wall to help the shadow escape, and in return, the shadow had to promise him one thing. Ideally, this would be beneficial to both parties, but in reality, it was very difficult. He had to be careful with every step, and he had to be careful of the shadow. Actually, Chen Ge did not want to do that, but unfortunately, he did not have much of a choice. This world behind the door did not give him a chance to survive, and he was trying his best to create a chance for himself. Suddenly, a sharp pain came from his lower abdomen like he had been stung by a bee. Chen Ge pulled back his shirt, and a short nail fell to the ground. This time, the wound is deeper, but why isn't it bleeding? If a normal person was stabbed by a nail like that, they would definitely bleed with their bare hands, but no matter how hard Chen Ge tried, the wound would not bleed. The sound of the nail falling was not loud, but the corridor was so quiet that both Chen Ge and Wang Xiaoming heard it loud and clear. What are you doing? Wang Xiaoming was spooked. It's nothing. Chen Ge picked up the nail. When he lowered his head, the entrance of the building suddenly lit up. Someone had entered the staff dormitory with a flashlight. We've been discovered. Wang Xiaoming clamped his hand over his mouth, and his body leaned against the wall. It was the sound of the nail that attracted him here. This corridor is about 30 meters long. Do you think he can hear the sound of the nail falling on the ground? Chen Ge still maintained his rationality. He was very calm. That person just happened to appear. Trust me. Then, what do we do now? He looks like he's coming. Stand close to the wall. He's holding the flashlight, and his eyes are not used to the dark. As long as we hide in the shadows and don't get hit by the flashlight, we won't be discovered. Chen Ge was also taking a gamble. A normal person would aim their flashlight at the road in front of them. They would not aim it far away for no reason. What if we get hit by the flashlight? Wang Xiaoming sucked in a cold breath, and his eyes were filled with fear. I repeat, he's holding the flashlight, and his eyes are not used to the dark. If we get hit by the flashlight, the first thing we need to do is rush over to snatch the flashlight away and then escape through the exit. What kind of solution is that? Shut up. Stand at the corner and don't move. Be prepared to snatch it. Chen Ge narrowed his eyes and used the backpack to block his face. In the dark corridor, the light swayed left and right. It slowly approached, and both Chen Ge and Wang Xiaoming held their breaths. After a few painful seconds, the light stopped at one of the rooms at the entrance of the corridor. The door was pushed open, and the light soon disappeared. He's entered the room. Wang Xiaoming's voice was shaking with excitement. Stop wasting time, let's go. Chen Ge had a feeling that things were not that simple. The person's sudden appearance was definitely not due to the sound of the nail falling. Could this be a coincidence? Wait, did I overlook something very important? Moving forward, Chen Ge thought back to everything that had happened since he entered the door. The first time I was in danger was in room 413. With Wang Xiaoming's fear of the dormitory manager and the teacher. Running into them in the middle of the night will definitely lead to something bad. Chen Ge summarized his two encounters, and his brows slowly creased. It appears like whenever I stay at a certain place for too long, something bad will happen. He could not confirm his speculation, but he knew that the situation was not looking good. The difficulty of this school had already surpassed the nightmare mission given by the black phone. I've been too passive. What should I do to gain the upper hand? The black phone will not give me a mission that will only lead me to certain death. So where is the chance of survival for this mission? Chen Ge was trying his best to think when the door that was not far from him suddenly opened again. The light disappeared at the door of this room. Is the person waiting for me? With nowhere to run, Chen Ge and Wang Xiaoming happened to be in the middle of the corridor. This way. There was a door in the middle of the corridor that was ajar. Wang Xiaoming was also scared out of his wits. When he saw the light that had disappeared reappear, he dragged Chen Ge into the room in the middle of the corridor. When the two of them hid inside the door, a light shone down the corridor. That was so close. We were almost seen. Wang Xiaoming gasped for air as he hid behind the door. Even though hiding inside the room is temporarily safe, it increases the risk. After all, the light in the room is on, and there are people inside. Earlier, we only needed to deal with one person, but now, we might need to deal with two or even more people. Chen Ge did not argue with Wang Xiaoming because he had made the decision on his own. Arguing would not solve anything at this time, and it would only waste their precious time to escape. We'll wait here for a while. Once the person outside leaves, we'll leave immediately. First, you can't be sure whether the teacher outside the door has discovered us or not. If he has discovered us, he will definitely be waiting outside the door. Secondly, there are people inside the room. Whether we can survive here until the teacher leaves is an unknown. Chen Ge would never leave his life in the hands of luck. He carried his backpack and walked into the kitchen. What are you doing? Looking for the window. The room was ridiculously big. There were 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a kitchen. It did not look like a normal apartment at all. After Chen Ge ran into the kitchen, he rushed toward the window, but to his chagrin, the kitchen window was installed with anti-theft netting. Without hesitation, Chen Ge returned to the chopping board. He rummaged through the cupboard, but he did not find a cleaver or anything sharp. This doesn't look like a dormitory, it looks more like a cage. Xiao Lin, someone is coming. Wang Xiaoming leaned against the door. He lowered his voice, and his face was twisted from fear. Lock the door from the inside. Don't let him in. Chen Ge had no idea whether the person outside had seen them or not. After all, he and Wang Xiaoming had been hiding in the dark. Okay. Wang Xiaoming had lost his ability to think. Whatever Chen Ge told him to do, he would do. It's already locked. Even though he knew that the door was locked, Wang Xiaoming was still very nervous. He gripped the doorknob, and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. Chen Ge did not expect Wang Xiaoming to be so afraid of the teacher. He grabbed Wang Xiaoming's hand lightly. Don't panic. The more afraid you are, the more likely something bad will happen. This is not a matter of panic, Shaolin. Have you forgotten about the teacher after lights out? Wang Xiaoming still wanted to say something when footsteps came from outside the door. Chen Ge and Wang Xiaoming's faces blanched at the same time. They looked at each other and raised their fingers to their lips at the same time. Come here. Chen Ge pointed at the empty space next to the door. He gestured with his hand. He wanted to lie in ambush with Wang Xiaoming on both sides of the door, ready to rush out at any moment to restrain the enemy. Chen Ge's plan was very good, but unfortunately, Wang Xiaoming's personality was completely different from Chen Ge's. He did not listen to Chen Ge's command and slipped into the bathroom that was far away from the bedroom. Hey, Chen Ge didn't want to stay in the living room alone, so he turned around and ran into the bathroom. What's the point of hiding in the bathroom? If you keep hiding, you'll only end up with nowhere to run. If you don't know how to resist, you'll never be able to fight for the chance to make a choice. I know, but I can't control myself. Wang Xiaoming pulled a long face and closed the bathroom door lightly. The two held their breaths. They waited for about 10 seconds, but there was no movement outside. Has the person left? How would I know? He might be lying outside the door now, waiting for us to come out. Chen Ge rolled his eyes. Let's go out and take a look. Okay. Wang Xiaoming gathered his courage and opened the bathroom door. It was dark outside, so he turned on the lights in the living room. Everything is normal. Realizing that there was nothing wrong, Wang Xiaoming urged in a small voice, but when he turned around, he saw the strange expression on Chen Ge's face. What's wrong with you? I remember very clearly that the lights in the living room were on, but after we hid inside the bathroom, the light outside went off on its own. Chen Ge lowered his voice. Don't move. The people in the room have already discovered us. Just as Chen Ge said that, a girl's laughter echoed in the room. A head with black hair poked out from behind the sofa. A girl with a strange smile was looking at Chen Ge and Wang Xiaoming. We mean no harm. We just happened to run into this place. Wang Xiaoming sighed in relief when he realized that the people inside the room were not the school's teachers. He came up with a clumsy lie. The girl tilted her head to study Wang Xiaoming and Chen Ge. Her gaze was very strange, and it contained a kind of sick emotion. It was hard to describe, but it did not look like she was looking at a person. Are you the daughter of one of our school's teachers? Chen Ge did not dare get close to this girl who looked completely normal. Yes. The girl nodded. Her eyes focused on Chen Ge. Compared to Wang Xiaoming, Chen Ge appeared to be more attractive. My father is a substitute teacher at the night school. His surname is Bai. You're Mr. Bai's daughter? Then we've come to the right place. Don't be afraid. We're Mr. Bai's students. He told us to come here to discuss some things. But since he is not here, we will not disturb you anymore. Chen Ge signaled for Wang Xiaoming to stay away from the girl. Did my father tell you to come? When the girl heard that, her eyes lit up even brighter. Looks like he still remembers the promise he made with me. Promise? Wang Xiaoming had a bad feeling in his heart. It's getting late. I think we should come back tomorrow. Wang Xiaoming was looking for an excuse to leave, but the girl ignored him. Her eyes stared at Chen Ge as she ran out from behind the sofa. Little brother, what is your name? Her hand grabbed Chen Ge's arm. Her voice was sweet, and her expression was cute. Only her gaze made Chen Ge feel uncomfortable because it did not look like she was looking at a living person. Lin Cece. That is such a cute name. When the girl smiled, her canine teeth were exposed, and she looked very playful. No matter how cute a name is, it's not as cute as you. Little sister, I still have something to do tonight. How about I come back to play with you tomorrow? Being hugged by the girl. The hair on the back of Chen Ge's neck stood on end. Tomorrow? The girl was troubled. She suddenly stood on her tiptoes and leaned into Chen Ge's ear to whisper. You're following someone who has been dead for a long time. I'm afraid you won't live to see tomorrow, little brother. The girl used an innocent tone to say something that made Chen Ge's hair stand on end. Don't go with him. Just stay here tonight. On one side was his desk mate who appeared to have died a long time ago, and on the other side was his teacher's daughter who was acting strangely. This was the first choice that Chen Ge had made since he entered the door. Bang! 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 Chen Ge was still hesitating when a strange sound came from the bedroom. It sounded like someone was banging their head against something. What's that sound? Chen Ge turned to look at the bedroom. It's nothing. For my last birthday, my father gave me a big dog. It was too naughty, so I chained it up. The girl seemed to be reminded of something happy, and her smile became even sweeter. Your dad gave you a dog? And he let you keep it in the staff dormitory? Wang Xiaoming heard the girl. And he was the first to express his disbelief. The school doesn't allow pets. That is the rule. The teachers wouldn't break the rules. My father was afraid that I would be too lonely, so he purposely gave me a big dog. But I never let it leave the room, so no one will notice. The girl's tone was innocent and cute, but when Chen Ge heard her, he could not help but feel a bit creepy. In other words, ever since your dad gave the dog to you, it hasn't left this room? Chen Ge raised his brows slightly. What's wrong? The big dog was very aggressive at first. My dad and I spent a lot of effort to make it obedient. The girl's lips curled up, and she smiled happily. It's fine. Keeping the dog inside the room for too long will make it sick. Sometimes, we need to take it out for a walk. Chen Ge glanced at the bedroom where the weird noise had come from. The door was closed, and he could not see anything. Even the sound had disappeared. Shaolin, don't listen to the girl. Our school's rules are very strict. Whether it's a student or a teacher, once they're caught breaking the rules, they'll be severely punished. Pets like dogs are different from lizards and snakes. They will definitely make noise. If the neighbors hear the noise, they'll definitely report this to the higher-ups. Wang Xiaoming did not believe the girl at all. You're not the only one who lives in the staff dormitory. My dad and I have considered this situation, so he specially trained the dog. The girl had a cute smile, and it made people want to hug her and rub against her. When the dog first arrived, it was not obedient. Whenever someone passed by, it would scratch the door and knock into the furniture. Then, my dad and I came up with a solution. We purposely left the house and pretended to be passers-by walking down the corridor. Whenever the big dog made a noise inside the room, my dad and I would come back to take something from it. After repeating this for more than 10 times, the dog slowly became obedient. Now, even if someone really passes by, it will be very obedient. You're quite experienced in training dogs. Hearing Chen Ge's praise, the girl was very happy. I don't have much experience. It's mainly because I've had a lot of dogs, and I've slowly figured it out. You have a lot of dogs? Chen Ge was surprised. Yes, at first I was secretly raising them. When my father found out, he was very angry. The girl sounded wronged. He dealt with the dog without my permission. I was so angry. I ignored him for a long time until he gave me another big dog. Why do I feel like you didn't raise any of your dogs for long? A dog's lifespan is not short, and you look only 11 or 12 years old. If you take good care of it, a dog will be enough to accompany you as you grow up. Chen Ge squatted in front of the girl. His pupils narrowed as he stared into the girl's eyes. It's mainly because they are disobedient. If they were obedient, they wouldn't have been punished. The girl looked at Chen Ge playfully, and her voice slowly lowered. I don't know why, but they are very afraid of me. If only they could be as close to me as you are to me. Intimacy? When a little girl faced 2 strange people who broke into her room in the middle of the night, not only did she not panic, but she also behaved very happily. It was obvious that there was something fishy going on. What are you talking about? Chen Ge did not seem to hear the girl's last sentence. With a warm smile on his face, he picked up the girl lightly. This is the first time I've seen a child as cute as you. What is your name? Chen Ge sat down on the sofa and placed the girl on his lap. My name is Bai Ling. Hearing that name, Chen Ge was stunned. 3 feet of Bai Ling, in ancient times, represented hanging. That's a good name. It's simple, pure, and has a trace of immortality. Chen Ge asked. Bai Ling? Your surname is Bai. So is your father Mr. Bai from the night school? Blinking, the girl nodded lightly. Yes. You're Mr. Bai's daughter. Before Chen Ge said anything, Wang Xiaoming screamed. He seemed to be reminded of something very scary. His face was pale, and he kept giving Chen Ge looks. Even though we're students from another campus, we've heard of Mr. Bai before. He is a good teacher who is serious and responsible. Chen Ge maintained the kind smile. Bai Ling, we still have something else to do, so we won't disturb you any longer. You're leaving? The girl's expression changed instantly. The innocence and cuteness on her face disappeared, and green veins popped up on her neck. Her large eyes glared at Chen Ge. It's over. Wang Xiaoming silently walked behind the girl and gestured at Chen Ge to cover his mouth. He wanted to control the girl and then run. What was the point of running now that their faces had been seen so clearly? Chen Ge reached out to touch Bai Ling's head. Since they had been seen, he decided to find a way to get some information and benefit before leaving. The cowardly would starve to death, and the brave would be stuffed to death. This saying was perfect for Chen Ge. Bai Ling, we're not planning to leave. We just want to go to the maintenance room at the end of the corridor to find something. You live in the staff dormitory, so do you know how to open that door? Chen Ge's expression was calm, like he did not see the scary change on the girl's face when she was angry. He continued to touch the girl's head affectionately. My dad seems to have a spare key. It's inside the bedroom drawer. I'll go take a look. The green veins on the girl's neck slowly disappeared, and she returned to her earlier appearance. However, the hand that gripped Chen Ge tightened. The girl held Chen Ge's hand and walked to the bedroom door. When she was about to push the door open, she suddenly hesitated, like she was worried that Chen Ge might see something behind the door. Wait here, I'll come out in a minute. Don't run away. Pushing the bedroom door open a sliver, the girl hurried into it, and then she closed the door. Shaolin. This is a rare opportunity. Let's go. Wang Xiaoming ran over to grab Chen Ge's wrist. She is Mr. Bai's daughter. Mr. Bai will definitely return later. If we're caught by him, we're really done for. The girl has already seen our faces. Even if we run now, she will tell her father about this. The key is that we've lied to her, so she will definitely exaggerate. Chen Ge stood where he was. He realized that the people at this school seemed to have a habit of grabbing other people's arms. It felt like they were fighting over him. We can't worry about that anymore. Let's run first. Wang Xiaoming saw that Chen Ge was still standing at the door, and he was so anxious that his forehead was covered in sweat. Shaolin, you heard it yourself. Mr. Bai once brought back a few large dogs for Bai Ling. I know. Before this, there were students who mysteriously disappeared after being locked up in the detention room. At the time, it was Mr. Bai who sent them there.